All right, my scholars, it is that time of night. It's time for us to get ready for our story. But before I do that, I have a few shout outs. First, since we aren't in school, I want to make sure that we recognize all of our students who have had a birthday. So if you had a birthday just recently, I'm going to let everybody know, because everybody else we did at school. So Zaire Ellis, happy birthday. Jeremiah Moore, happy birthday. Listen, I'm so excited. When we get back to school, you know everybody's going to get their birthday surprise. So I will do the birthday shout outs for everybody. And hopefully some of the kids are actually seeing this and can tell their friends, oh, Ms. Parker shouted your birthday out. Also, the nurse wants to remind everybody, Nurse Parker, thank you for being mindful in these times, that if you sing happy birthday twice while you're washing your hands, that is sufficient. So you sing happy birthday to me, happy birthday to me, 2 times, the whole song. Then your hands will be clean and germ-free. All right, I also want to shout out Chance Patterson because he did the writing challenge. Chance told me he likes a ham sandwich. I'm going to post that writing that he did as well. I'm going to post the writing. He wrote about how to make a ham sandwich. And then he started telling me about how it digests in the stomach. I don't know any kindergartners who really do that. So I'm gonna post the paper, and then I'll let him tell his story. Maybe he'll be one of my guests this week. He should be coming over soon. All right. Chance also recommended this book today. Dun, 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 dun. It's called A Bad Case of Stripes by David Shannon. So here we go. Camilla Cream loved lima beans, but she had never eaten them. All of her friends hated lima beans, and she wanted to fit in. Camilla always worried about what other people thought about her. Today she was fretting even more than usual. It was the first day of school, and she couldn't decide what to wear. There were so many people to impress. She tried on 42 outfits. Can you believe it? 42 outfits? But none seemed quite right. She put on a pretty red dress and looked in the mirror. Then she screamed. Her mother ran into the room and she screamed too. Oh, heavens, she cried. You're completely covered with stripes. This was certainly true. Camilla was striped from head to toe. She looked like a rainbow. Mrs. Cream felt Camilla's forehead. Do you feel all right? She asked. I feel fine, Camilla answered. But just look at me. You get back into bed this instant, her mother ordered. You're not going to school today. Camilla was relieved. She didn't want to miss the first day of school, but she was afraid of what other kids would think. And she had no idea what to wear with those crazy stripes. Oh, Camilla. Camilla's worried about what other people think. Let's see what happens with Camilla. Do you think it's okay to think about what other people think about you all the time? So much that you get stripes on you? That afternoon, Dr. Bumble came to examine Camilla. Most extraordinary, he exclaimed. I've never seen anything like it. Are you having any coughing, sneezing, runny nose, aches, pains, chills, hot flashes, dizziness, drowsiness, shortness of breath, or uncontrollable twitching? No, Camilla told him. I feel fine. Well then, Dr. Bumble said, turning to Mrs. Cream, I don't see any reason why she shouldn't go to school tomorrow. Here's some ointment that should help clear up those stripes in a few days. If it doesn't, you know where to reach me. And off he went. Oh, Camilla, oh, Camilla. The next day was a disaster. Everyone at school laughed at Camilla. They called her Camilla Crayon and Night of the Living Lollipop. She tried her best to act as if she everything were normal. But when the class said the Pledge of Allegiance, her stripes turned into red, white, and blue, and she broke out into stars. Oh my goodness, Camilla, what is going on with you? What is going on? The other kids thought this was great. One yelled out, "Let's see some purple polka dots." Sure enough, Camilla turned all purple polka dotty. Someone else shouted, "Checkerboard!" and a pattern of squares covered her skin. Soon everyone was calling out different shapes and colors, and poor Camilla was changing faster than you can change channels on a TV. Oh, Camilla. That night, Mr. Harms, the school principal, called. "I'm sorry, Mrs. Cream," he said. "I'm going to have to ask you to keep Camilla home from school. She is just too much of a distraction, and I've been getting calls from the other parents. They're afraid those stripes may be contagious." Camilla was so embarrassed she could not believe that 2 days ago everyone liked her. Now nobody wanted to be in the same room with her. Her father tried to make her feel better. "Is there anything I can get you, sweetheart?" he asked. "No, thank you," sighed Camilla. What she really wanted was a nice plate of lima beans, but she had been laughed at enough for one day. Camilla just wants to eat some lima beans. It's okay to be different. It's okay to eat things that are different than other people. Well, I think I skipped a page. Oh, no, I didn't. Well, I see, Dr. Bumble mumbled. Mr. Cream phoned the next day. "I think I'd better bring in the specialist. We'll be right over." About an hour later, Mr. Bumble arrived with 4 people in long white coats. He introduced them to the Creams. "This is Dr. Grope, Dr. Sponge, Dr. Cricket, and Dr. Young." Then the specialist went to work on Camilla. They squeezed and jabbed and tapped and tested. It was very uncomfortable. "Well, it's not the mumps," concluded Dr. Grope. "Or the measles," says Dr. Sponge. "Definitely not chicken pox," put in Dr. Cricket. "Or sunburn," said Dr. Young. "Try these," said the specialist. They each handed her a bottle filled with different colored pills. "Take one of each before bed," said Dr. Grope. Then they fled to the front door, followed by Dr. Bumble. Jeez, nobody knows what's wrong with poor old Camilla. Hope she gets better soon. That night, Camilla took her medicine. It was awful. When she woke up the next morning, she did feel different, but when she got dressed, her clothes didn't fit right. She looked in the mirror, and there, staring back at her, was a giant, multicolored pill with her face on it. Oh no! Camilla has turned into the pill. All of those pills that they had her take. Poor Camilla. She's having a very rough time. Dr. Bumble rushed over as soon as Mrs. Cream called. But this time, instead of the specialist, he brought the experts. Dr. Gourd and Mr. Mellon were the finest scientific minds in the land. Once again, Camilla was poked and prodded, looked at, and listened to. The experts wrote down lots of numbers. Then they huddled together and whispered. Dr. Gourd finally spoke. "It might be a virus," he announced with authority. Suddenly, fuzzy little virus balls appeared all over Camilla. "Or possibly some form of bacteria," said Mr. Mellon. Out popped squiggly little bacteria tails. "Or it could be a fungus," added Dr. Gourd. Instantly, Camilla was covered with different colored fungus blotches. The experts looked at Camilla, then at each other. "We need to go over these numbers again back at the lab," Dr. Gourd explained. "We'll call you when we know something," but the experts didn't have a clue, much less a cure. Right now, there's nothing for poor Camilla. Nobody can explain it. Poor Camilla. By now, the TV news had found out about Camilla. Reporters from every channel were outside her house telling the story of the bizarre case of the incredible changing kid. Soon, a huge crowd was camped outside on the front lawn. Poor Camilla. Now people are coming to stare at her. The news is coming. Everybody wants to see about poor old Camilla. I don't think this is what she really wanted. Oh, let's find out. The creams were swamped with all kinds of remedies from psychologists, allergists, herbalists, nutritionists, psychics, and an old medicine man, a guru, and even a veterinarian. Do you know what a veterinarian is? That's an animal doctor. Each so-called cure only added to poor Camilla's strange appearance until it was hard to even recognize her. She sprouted roots and berries and crystals and feathers and a long furry tail, but nothing worked. Oh my goodness, look at poor Camilla. Too many people are trying to give too many answers and nobody really knows what's going on with her. What do you think is happening with Camilla? Send me some messages so I can know what you were thinking. One day, a woman called herself an environmental therapist, claimed she could cure Camilla. Close your eyes, she said. Breathe deeply and become one with the room. Kind of sounds like what we do when we do our meditation. I wish you hadn't said that, Camilla groaned. Slowly, she started to melt into the walls of her room. Her bed became her mouth. Her nose was a dresser, and two paintings were her eyes. The therapist screamed and ran from the house. What are we going to do? Cried Mrs. Cream. It's just keeps getting worse and worse. She began to sob. Poor Camilla became one with her room. She actually became the room. Oh my goodness. At that moment, Mr. Cream heard a quiet knock at the door. He opened it, and there stood an old woman who was just as plump and sweet as a strawberry. Excuse me, she said brightly, but I think I can help. I hope this lady can help her. Poor Camilla Cream. She's having such a rough time. She went into Camilla's room and looked around. My goodness, she said with a shake of her head. What we have here is a bad case of the stripes. One of the worst I've ever seen. She pulled a container of small green beans from her bag. Here, she said, this might do the trick. Are those magic beans? Asked Miss Cream. Oh my. No, replied the old woman. There's no such thing. These are just plain old lima beans. I bet you like some, wouldn't you? She asked Camilla. Camilla wanted a big heaping plate full of lima beans, more than just about anything, but she was a little afraid to admit it. Yuck, she said. No one likes lima beans, especially me. Oh dear, the old woman said sadly. I guess I was wrong about you. She just put the beans back in her bag and started toward the door. Camilla watched the old woman walk away. Those beans would taste so good and being laughed at for eating them with nothing was compared to what she had been going through. She finally couldn't stand it. Wait, she cried. The truth is, I really love lima beans. I thought so, said the old woman with a smile. She took a handful of beans and popped them into Camilla's mouth. Mmm, said Camilla. Camilla really loves those beans. How many of you like lima beans? Have you ever tried those? I don't like lima beans, but I like some other things. Suddenly, the branches, feathers, and squiggly tails began to disappear. Then the whole room swirled around. When it was stopped, there stood Camilla, and everything was back to normal. I'm cured, she shouted. Yes, said the old woman. I knew the real you was in there somewhere. She patted Camilla on the head. Then she went outside and vanished into the crowd. Amazing! Camilla's back! And all it took was what? A few lima beans. Afterward, Camilla wasn't quite the same. Some of the kids at school said she was weird, but she didn't care a bit. She ate all the lima beans she wanted, and she never had even a touch of stripes again. Now, in the very beginning, Camilla said she was always worried about what other people think. As we went through the story, Camilla changed so many times. She was nervous about everything. She really cared then. But at the end, when Camilla liked her food, what happened? She became herself again. And after that, Camilla didn't really think about what other people thought. They might have thought she was a little weird because she liked lima beans. But everybody likes something that somebody else doesn't like, right? I hope you enjoyed this story. Now I have just a few more shout outs before we do our mindfulness breathing. I have a shout out because a couple of kids their parents have sent me some messages that they love these stories and love the things that I'm doing. So Imani Baker, Hakeem Baker, thank you for following us. I'm going to read some more stories. I'm going to get some other stories from some people. They've already said that they wanted me to read some books that they chose. So thanks for watching. Tabet, keep your mom on a straight and narrow. Her classes are going to be okay. They're going to get better. Janaya, hey girl, I miss you coming up in the morning like you're on a red carpet. And I cannot forget my big babies. Now listen, I know y'all don't want y'all name all over the place, but I don't care. Timani, Jamar, all of you all that are following me, Trayvon, Lavon, I love you all. I miss you. And maybe you all can be guest readers on my page. Send me a video of you reading the story to somebody, and then I'll put it on my page. Now it's that time. So listen, you know, every day we have to do a little bit of mindfulness. So I don't know if you want to get your flour or if you want to get your cup of hot chocolate or if you just want to close your eyes and breathe. But here we go. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath in through your nose and slowly out through your mouth. Pretend you're blowing that hot chocolate. You're sniffing it in to get that nice smell. And now you're blowing it so you can drink it. Get your flour and sniff that flour. And then blow the petals out of your hand. It's time for us to wind down. Parents, again, this is something you could do during the day. I know the kids kind of have cabin fever. Hopefully you've gotten some of that schoolwork done. You're reading some books. Parents, I hope you're taking a few moments for yourself. Hide in the bathroom if you need to. We're all going to get through this. And I'll be back again tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow I'll do a cooking class. I don't know who I'm going to give the food to because maybe I'll make a cake. I don't know who's going to eat the cake because I cannot. But we'll do something special tomorrow. Remember, Friday is pajama day. Send me all of your pictures with your pajamas so I can post them onto our YouTube channel. We're still going to have some school activities. So dress down day is Friday. Put your pajamas on. It's going to be pajama day. Get your friend, tell your friends. Get your pajamas on. Send some pictures to Miss Parks so that I can get them out. All right. I love you all. Have a great night.